Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the secrets hidden in plain sight within company filings. Get ready because today we are going to dissect MicroCloud Hologram Inc. and see if their holograms are shining bright or going dim. So what's going on here is MicroCloud Hologram Inc. is filing a report for the month of September 2025. This is what they call a Form 6K, which is basically a public report for companies that are not based in the United States but still want to share important information with investors here. Think of it like a check-in that this company is doing to make sure everyone is up to date on their latest goings on, especially their financial health. This filing specifically is to give us their 6-month interim financial statements, which is super important because it gives us a snapshot of how the company is doing financially halfway through their fiscal year. They're also making sure these financials get officially added to their existing registration statements, which is super important because it gives us a snapshot of how the company is doing financially halfway through their fiscal year. They're also making sure these financials get officially added to their existing registration statements, which is super important because it gives us a snapshot of how the company is doing financially halfway through their fiscal year. They're also making sure these financials get officially added to their existing registration statements, which is super important because it gives us a... Now let's dive into what really matters, the financial statements. We're looking at the period up to June 30, 2025 compared to the same time in 2024. These are unaudited, meaning they're preliminary and could still be tweaked a bit, but they still give us a really good idea of the company's performance. It's like getting a sneak peek at the report card before it's officially graded. Following those numbers is the management's discussion, where the company leaders themselves explain what's happening with their money and their business. This is where they tell us the why behind the numbers, the story of their performance. They'll talk about their financial situation and how they did in the first half of 2025. This is key because it gives us executive insights into their strategy and challenges. And just to wrap up the formality, the report is signed off by Guohei Kang, the Chief Executive Officer. This means he's putting his name on this information, confirming its accuracy to the best of his knowledge. Now, let's get into what these numbers might actually mean for MicroCloud Hologram. From what we can understand from this filing, it's providing a look at their financial performance for the first 6 months of 2025 compared to the first 6 months of 2024. While this filing doesn't include the detailed tables themselves, these Form 6K reports usually accompany financial statements that paint a picture of revenue, costs, and profit. Imagine if we saw their revenue numbers. If revenue went up significantly, it would mean more people or businesses are buying their holographic products or services. If it dropped, it might suggest they're facing tougher competition, or perhaps their technology isn't resonating as much with customers as they hoped. We also need to consider their costs. Are they spending more to create their holograms? Are their marketing costs soaring? If their costs are rising faster than their revenue, then their profits shrink. This can happen if they're investing heavily in new technology or expanding into new markets, which could be good long-term, but it can hurt their short-term earnings. When management discusses financial condition, they're talking about how much cash they have on hand, what debts they owe, and how they plan to manage their money. If they have a lot of debt, that's a risk. It's like having a big credit card bill. You have to keep paying interest, and if you can't make payments, it can lead to serious trouble. Think about it this way. If MicroCloud Hologram's core business is selling holographic displays, then their sales numbers are the most important indicator. If those sales are growing, it means their products are in demand and their marketing is working. If they aren't growing, then they might need to rethink their product features or how they reach their customers. The discussion and analysis part is where we can look for clues about their strategy. Are they talking about launching new products? Are they expanding into new countries? Are they facing any significant challenges like regulatory changes or new competitors? This commentary is crucial for understanding the context behind the financial numbers. For instance, if they mention increased investment in research and development, it suggests they're betting on future innovation to drive growth. It's also important to remember that this is an interim report. This means it's a mid-year check-in. The full annual report will give us a more complete picture. However, these interim reports can often signal trends that will continue throughout the year. If they're off to a strong start, it's a good sign. If they're struggling in the first half, they might have an uphill battle to recover later in the year. We need to look for what they're not saying as much as what they are. If they have a really great quarter or half year, you'll hear a lot about it. If the numbers aren't so great, the language might be more carefully chosen, trying to spin the results in the best possible light. That's where we as observers need to be critical and focus on the raw financial data. When we look at reports like this, we're essentially trying to understand if the company is healthy and growing or if it's facing trouble. Are they making more money than they're spending? Are they able to pay their bills? Are their customers happy and buying their products? These are the fundamental questions that a filing like this aims to answer, even if it's in a summarized way. Now, looking at these results more broadly, MicroCloud Hologram Inc. is operating in the technology sector, specifically with holograms, which is a pretty cutting-edge field. The leadership represented by Guohui Kang as CEO is responsible for guiding the company's strategy and ensuring these financial reports accurately reflect the company's performance. Overall, the filing is a standard business update that provides crucial financial information. It tells us that the company is in compliance with reporting requirements for foreign private issuers. The core of the report is the financial performance for the first half of the year. In my opinion, companies like MicroCloud Hologram Inc. that operate in emerging technology sectors face unique challenges and opportunities. The success of their business often hinges on a combination of technological innovation, market adoption, and effective business strategy. While this particular filing doesn't give us the detailed numbers to make a deep financial analysis, it serves as a notification that their financial statements are being updated and incorporated into their public filings. The real story, if any, would be in the content of those financial statements and the management's discussion without seeing those specific numbers like revenue growth, profit margins, or cash flow from operations. It's hard to say definitively how well the company is doing. However, the fact that they are providing this update indicates a commitment to transparency, which is generally a positive sign for investors. We'd want to see consistent growth in revenue and profitability and a manageable debt level to consider them a strong investment. Future filings, particularly the detailed financial statements, will be key to understanding their trajectory. Keep an eye on those for a clearer picture of their actual business health. Alright, that's our breakdown of MicroCloud Hologram Inc.'s latest filing. What's your take on these types of filings and what they signal for companies in the tech space? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance. Don't forget to check out our Discord community linked in the description for more behind the scenes discussions and insights. Thanks for watching. See you next time.